I think you want to do my full name.
We back, bro.
We back.
And we here. We here. Got a beautiful guest, Miss Anna.
Hi, guys.
Let's open up. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Most Merciful, all praise is due to Allah, the Lord of the worlds, the Beneficent, the Most Merciful, and Master of the Day of Judgment. Thee alone do we serve, thee alone do we beseech for divine aid. Guide us on the right path, the path upon whom thou hast bestowed favors, not upon whom thy wrath has been brought down, nor upon those who go astray. Ameen.
Ameen Islam.
Yeah, bro.
We here.
Yeah, we are.
We was going in.
Yeah, we were.
And I was like, wait.
Yeah.
Let's put this on the podcast.
Yeah,
You feel
man.
me? 'Cause
Yeah,
the spirit was moving.
Yeah.
And we was discussing holistic health.
Holistic Health. My current doctor.
Yeah.
Her name is Dr. Song.
Yeah.
From Three Angels Health Center in West LA, right on the border of Beverly Hills.
Yeah.
Korean woman, but I was going to her for acupuncture. And a brother in the nation told me that she actually does this other thing called nutritional response testing. And I don't want to describe it for her. All I could say is that it works. But what essentially she does, she uses the energy, she senses the energy in your body to see how certain elements and supplements, how your body reacts. The energy in your body reacts to certain supplements. So she could tell just by feeling you and feeling the strength in your body with her hands, how your body responds to certain supplements. So it could be fish oil, it could be vitamin D, all the whole spectrum. So given with that in and of itself, she could tell you what your body needs and also what parasites, what viruses are in your body, what part of your body, and what part of your body needs the most work. So when she told me, I went there after my acupuncture, like I was going to acupuncture for like 6 months. She told me that I told her I had brain fog and I've always been like jumpy. So she told me, yeah, you got a brain parasite. That's where the brain fog's coming from. Also, you have parasites in your heart, parasites in your pancreas, parasites XYZ. So yeah. So the first 6 months was just purely, I'm still on a detox, but detox, parasite detox.
Yeah.
So I was telling you earlier, it's like worms, like actual parasitic worms are crawling out the back of my head from my brain. Yeah. It was savage. And but yeah, so I was going to her like every week, and she would assess me. And when they're leaving your body, it's like they're dying, and you feel like a part of you is dying with them. It is insane. Like they're dragging you down.
Hold up, this sounds like Animorphs.
Yeah, it's bad. Yeah, and they have consciousness, and like their death is dragging you down. So you feel them dying with you, and a part of you is dying. Yeah, but it's also being rebirthed. But that whole process of detoxing parasites, it's brutal because they're so smart that their attitude is like, you're not just gonna kill me, bro. You're not just gonna kill me. Like, I'm gonna release hella toxins when you kill me, and they do. And that is that toxic release that really fucks you up.
Yeah. A lot of people, like, even when I first went plant-based, and a lot of people ask me that too. Like, when they go plant-based, they notice that, like, they feel sick.
Yeah.
And their head hurts, and, like, they get more cravings. I'm like, yes, that is the parasites. Like, that's their last fight. They're like, no, bro, give me some, like,
what I want.
You know, facts.
Yeah.
So it's like you got to just roll with it.
Yes, right.
And they're always there. Like, you can never completely. It's a part of the human experience.
That's right.
Yeah, it's having parasites in the body. Like I said, when I did on Halloween, when I went up to the Mojave Desert, and I did like a lot of shrooms.
Yeah.
On Halloween, it was a full moon, and it was Halloween, a lot of shrooms. And I remember laying down, and I remember closing my eyes, and then immediately as I closed my eyes, my parasites began to move, and I saw them.
Yeah.
And they looked at me like, oh shit, you can see me. And I'm looking at them like, what? Like, what are you? I'm like, y'all gotta go. And I just remember that was like the message that like Allah gave me from the shrooms, like speaking, looking at my parasites as the different dimensional beings that they actually are.
Facts, bro.
And they was surprised that I was able to see them move in my brain. Yeah. And I'm like, you have to go.
It's time to go.
You have to go.
It's time to go.
And I begin to detox. And mind you, like I know they come back and forth.
They still there.
But I remember, I thoroughly remember seeing them and be like, y'all gotta go.
Yeah.
And it was like black and white. They were like black and white
amoebas? What did it look like?
They looked like they were tall.
Damn.
And they had like a long. They were really tall and long and black and white.
Damn.
And they both. Like when I closed my eyes, that's when everything opened. It was crazy. It wasn't
insane.
crazy. It was me going into my mind.
That's absolutely.
They looked at me like, "What the fuck are you like?" You know what I'm saying? Like, how can you see me?
You
I'm
ain't
like,
supposed to be here, bro.
Yeah. And I'm like, no, I'm here, bro. I'm in. I see you.
Yeah.
Y'all gotta go. Clock out.
And that they know that they're parasites.
Yeah.
They know that they're somewhere they're not supposed to be, leeching off another entity. So it's like, of course they're gonna look at you like, oh, he got us, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that just speaks to the nature of intelligence and things that aren't human. Like everything has intelligence. That's the nature of the universe.
You say that. I was like, I've recently really started to take an interest in insects.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think because we see them as so, I hope I'm using this word correctly, minute. Like, it's minuscule. It means nothing. I take your life. It doesn't impact anything. That's actually highly incorrect.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even the smallest thing that you think could be destroying something could actually be aiding something. And
Absolutely.
I was like, what is the great white whale that eats krill? Mm-hmm. If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Jumping back. Mm-hmm. So one day I went to go visit my dad, and he was working on a house, and I have a thing with mosquitoes. I don't like them, but I've been trying to rearrange my thoughts with things that I don't like, and starting to be like, there's a purpose for you here. If there's a purpose for me, there's obviously a purpose for you.
You found the purpose out?
No,
Yeah,
I haven't
tell me, by
yet.
all means.
I have not. Hold up. I have not yet.
Please enlighten me. Yeah,
hold up. It could be one of those things that could literally carry this DNA to here, to here, to here, and kill this, kill that, kill that. It could possibly be that. I don't know. I have not investigated.
I understand.
But what I realized is how intelligent they are, because I saw one flying and I looked at them and I was like, stay your butt up there, because if you come near me and mine, I'm gonna have to kill you. We fighting. Like, I'm not about to. I don't care if we outside. Normally, I would leave you alone, but I'm about, like, don't step near me. And I see it just moseying on over to this reef on the door.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at it like, that's curious. There's no water there. I was like, okay. A second later, my dad opens the door. Why, like 20 of these mosquitoes just go whoosh. I was like, whoa, what the hell just happened? And fruit flies too.
Yeah.
I was like, hold up a minute. And after that, I was like, y'all smart. Y'all smart. Like, how?
Oh, they all went in the house?
They all went in the house and just dispersed.
Oh.
Literally, immediately, he opened the door and they just went whoosh.
Oh, so they was like, they probably knew they was like, oh, he coming.
They sent a scout. Yeah. Yeah.
Like, bro, we in there.
Yeah.
Run it
They
up.
knew to hide.
Uh-huh.
That was weird.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That threw me into my introduction of like, all right, I must value you in a different way now.
Yeah.
You're not just an annoyance.
Yeah.
And then I heard it buzz in my ear, and I was like, oh, like the fable about the mosquito that like to, listen to them.
Nah, give me
by all means.
Yeah, by all. Go ahead. I don't never heard this.
By all means.
African fable.
No.
Mosquito. I forgot what the mosquito was trying to tell him, but like I just remember that, like when it buzzed by my ear, and I was like, I had never heard that before.
Understand?
It was daunting.
That buzzing
like
is the
completely
most. I
silent.
can't
It's
deal
terrible.
with the. I can't deal with it.
It's brutal.
The buzzing.
I had never heard it before.
The buzzing. It don't bother
That
you.
high pitched, annoying
No.
zing.
It was annoying, but it freaked me out because it was after I had gotten bit and I didn't know I got bit. And I was like, "Why my leg itchy?"
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, like I heard, bzz, and I was like, and it was completely silent. It kind of threw me off. Anyways, let's beside the point. What I'm just trying to say is that finding the value in everything and knowing that everything has a purpose, and that even those parasites, to even the thinking that thing, they there whether I like it or not, whether we like it or not, and how creepy it is.
Yeah.
But it's a creation.
Absolutely.
And I think that in itself, like everything is living off of each other, right? Like right now you have all sorts of things living on you that you cannot see.
Facts.
Fine.
Facts. Yeah.
Even just for the self-awareness and for the continual like to not get lazy, to continue knowing you need to keep detoxing. Sometimes we do need these exterior things to like remind you, hey,
that's right.
Stay on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or sometimes some exterior things to let you know, like, hey, this isn't me. This isn't my thinking, or like, like, back to you talking about like early to my religion. Sometimes certain, I know growing up, it's like we have this inherent of like, I'm a bad person. I'm bad, and I need this to make me good.
Absolutely.
And sometimes it's like that might just be that parasite telling you that.
Absolutely.
And sometimes like really helpful, be like, nah, let me take a step back. What is this that's making me feel or think these things? I definitely think that could be a part of like the grandiose play of like, there are things put here to make you be a better you.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's an interesting perspective.
Yeah, but I remember, I want to go back to like when I initially went to Dr. Song. It was brain fog, and there was something in like my eye and my nerve. Like it felt just like pressure. I thought maybe it was like, what's that one? Not cataracts, but that one glaucoma. I thought something like that. And I went to her. I was like, yeah, something's going on in the back of my eye. And then she told me, oh, you got parasites in your eye, bro. And I took a picture of myself. Like a selfie on my MacBook, and just to have my eyes and see if I could see the parasite. And there's one eye that's me, and I can show you a picture after. There's one eye that's me, and there's another eye that just completely looks like it doesn't look like my eye. It looks like the parasite took over my eyeball. I'll show you. I can show you this picture. It's real. It's terrifying.
It's real.
It's terrifying. So I'm like, okay, you somehow got control of this region of my body, and she gave me the supplements to get rid of it, but. To go back to, it's analogous to what you were talking about with your dream. I had a dream where I'm literally pulling worms out of my eye into this kitchen sink. So that's you really have to pay attention to your dreams, because it shows you what you're dealing with in this physical reality.
Definitely.
It may not be a perfect analogy, but you got to just see, I was fighting that parasite last night. I was pulling him out of my eye. And I've had like probably like 5 or 6 specific parasite dreams where I'm actually, whether it's me purging the parasite worms from my body. So that's how you know you're on the right path. And it's you can say it's nasty, but it's just another living entity, and you just got to confront it. And it's really just internal resistance that if you can conquer, it'll make you stronger. But you got to look at the problem first, right? And that's what natural doctors are a beautiful thing, because regular Western medicine is not going to tell you that. They would have told me I had glaucoma or something like that. They're not going to go to the root cause of what's causing. And also, I do want to say what I've realized. I do want to say that lazy eye, that appears in what she's told me and what I feel, because my eye looked lazy as well, like off, right? So I'm like, oh, okay. I think I understand what could possibly be the root cause of lazy eye. Oh, okay. There's something in there, misdirecting your eye to another direction. Yeah,
that's deep. There's a lot of layers to it.
Yeah, man. So
this whole parasite thing. It's like it's also, parasites are also when we say parasites in the mind, that could also be thoughts,
absolutely,
belief systems, programming, engineering, that we have to assess, and look back. Like I said, I've been doing a lot of like journaling, and self-reflection, and like being presented with like stepping into another level of life financially, and then there's blockages and resentment, or not resentment, but there's like a part of your mind, like the brain fog, where it's like, I'm gonna think about something else, where I have to stop and like, no, why do I distract myself from
confronting what I need to confront at this new level.
At this new level.
New level. That's right.
This is what I've been praying for and manifesting, and journaling,
absolutely,
having affirmations about.
Yeah, man.
And telling everybody I'm gonna do.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And then it's here, and it's like, oh no.
Oh.
And it's like I had to really. I caught it, and so I start journaling.
Yeah.
And I was like, what are you like? What's up?
Yeah.
And it was like, you're still afraid.
Yeah.
You're still afraid, and you still don't feel worthy, and deserving. So you are worthy.
That's right.
You are deserving. I am deserving.
Yes, you are.
I am worthy.
Yeah.
It's like how we were talking about value of self, right?
Yeah.
And then that self-love and getting to that place. I mean, having this conversation, and then, like I said, having that dream, like I want to say it, and then it just like sounds super scary. So the dream was, I literally had it last night. I I had a dream. I was looking at my son, and then all of a sudden I imagined parasites in his brain, and I was like,
Damn.
well, what? And I just freaked out and immediately just stepped back, and I was like, no. And I was just like, and it's randomly like been in my head. Like every time I look at him now, like I'll randomly just like see it. And mind you, I want to say the most cleanest, like with him, like I was a lot more intentional because there was a lot more information that I was receiving about like holistic and, you know,
How old
healthier
is he?
eating.
How old?
He's 1.
Oh,
He
okay.
just turned
Baby.
1. So, and it might have been because of like, I finally like introduced honey to him. So it might be that seated thing in my mind, you know, that because we were like, oh, should we give him honey? He just turned 1 type of situation.
Yeah.
So it might be that in my brain, but the fact that we're even talking about that being a thing and me knowing about candidas, and I was just thinking about like, it's interesting when you think about it, how God gives you bits and tastes of things and knowing how I am. I told you when I was younger, like I was always told like catastrophe is coming, Armageddon. And it always just really hurt my spirit because I was
From
just
like the evangelical lens or like from
from both.
Oh,
so
understood.
I
Yeah.
grew up, I was never baptized, but I grew up with my grandmother who was Jehovah's Witness.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But she came back from being Catholic. So then she came into being a Jehovah's Witness. My aunts and uncles were brought up in it, but I think only part of them are still in it and others aren't. And they have their own feelings about it all. I really would like to sit down and have a full-blown conversation. Like, let's just sit down and digest this all.
Oh, no. There's definitely something to the theology of Jehovah's Witness. Like, you can't sleep on it. Like, there's a lot to it. I've studied it. There's a lot to it, bro. There's a lot to it.
It's a lot of, it was a lot. With anything, there's a lot of pros and cons. I think my value is that they were so strong in things like it wasn't like in my personal experience with like other Christianity, right? Because it's a form of Christianity. Was that like you would go?
Does it fall in Christianity?
It is a form of Christianity. It's just like they just don't do with the regular. Like, you know, I thought it was just like very like the flip floppiness of like other like I just like the structure of this. And whenever I was around the people, it was very loving.
They stand on there.
Always,
they stand. They stand on it.
They stand walking to door. Like, you know, people always make jokes about them doing that. So I'm like, my grandmother was 50 years old, waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning, making sure that she was able to preach the word to people because she felt that was her way and that was her duty.
That's right.
To spread the word of Jehovah.
Hey, my grandma was a Jehovah's Witness too.
Oh, that's not surprising, bro. Like I said,
and my uncle.
Prince
really?
Prince was a Jehovah's Witness.
He was
active.
And then
card carrying, door to door Jehovah's Witness.
Michael Jackson's family too, right?
Oh, was it?
I think Michael Jackson's family as well.
We learned something new today.
But I mean, I'm telling you,
so.
it's like
you go back and double check.
I definitely know Prince, I know Prince was, but like essentially, like what I mean, I don't want to paraphrase Jehovah's Witness, but I do know their key linchpin not philosophy, but theology is like, the devil runs a show. Right. He's the king of this world. So I really appreciate the fact they called it out for what it is, and that's why they don't submit to a lot of the bullshit of the world. They don't vote. I think they don't vote.
No.
Yeah.
One of the things is we're not supposed to vote. You're not supposed to get blood transfusions.
I mean,
you don't celebrate like the holidays because
I'm not mad at any of that.
Which I get.
I'm not mad at any of that.
As a kid, I didn't get it.
Yeah.
But then now as an adult,
I understand.
I get it.
They
I understand.
put it on everywhere. You don't think my feelings was hurt when people would come home and be getting all this stuff? I'm like, well, can I just? And now I'm just like, I'm still getting used to the whole birthday thing. Like,
I understand.
And but all that is just, like I said, is very, very curious about the conversations that we're having right now. And then knowing how I was catastrophe and all that type of stuff and very like sensitive to all of that and always asking, I always saying, I don't understand, like praying and being like in tears, looking out the windows or whatever. I don't understand. Like, why are we here if this is what we're supposed to, this can't be. This can't, that was from a little kid. Like, I remember being little, looking at them and like, I don't like, why? Like,
why am I here?
What is our purpose here? Like, why are we here?
Or
if there's just all this chaos. All this ugly, people hate, people kill, people harm children. Like, why is this a thing? And now I feel like it's not supposed to, and there's no reason for it, that we are here, we've been gifted with this life. Everybody's always waiting for like, oh, God's gonna come and save everybody, so y'all don't gotta take care of. No, this was the gift.
Yeah, exactly.
This right here, right now, is the gift. You literally have everything around you that you need. I'm like, these plants right here literally help you clean your air, purify your air, uplift your mood, and all they are is just present.
That's right.
All they are is just present.
Absolutely.
And like, there's so much beauty, but we're taught to focus on the bad, and maybe that's what that parasite is to make you focus on that ugly, right?
That's right.
If it is making you question yourself and not value yourself, how did that falls into the whole devil's plan, right?
Absolutely.
Everything has its own connection if you want to break it down. But if you only allow yourself to see in this one perspective, this one limited perspective,
Come on.
I've heard this a lot of different times, but like even like Erykah Badu's song, it's like even the smartest man, it's like even
Don't get it.
Pop out.
even the one that's like the man that knows the most realizes he knows nothing at all, right?
Facts.
And the more that I have learned, and I used to be butthurt when my dad used to tell me like, you think you know stuff, but you don't know nothing at all. And I'll be like, how you know? You ain't lived my life. There's truth to it though, right?
Facts.
Like there's truth in the sense that my world was like this, very small, very limited, and not due to because I wanted it that way, but because that's how I was brought up and taught. But it was all very
sheltered,
geared around sheltered, but around fear.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whole life fear. Like that was the whole structure of everything. I feared God.
Was that from Catholic or is that from Jehovah's Witness? Because usually that's the theme I know with Catholics is like they heavy on the fear.
Is that it's interesting.
Yeah.
So I learned my love for God through my grandmother, but not necessarily through me going to the Kingdom Hall.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I always felt like I don't know what was trying to get me, but I always felt like every time I went, it was like anything that I was struggling with, like something was like telling me that like, oh, that you're a sinner, so you're not gonna, God's mad at you.
Yeah, God's
thing. So like,
God's
I would
mad.
like,
You're
and
not
not to say that was what they would say to me, but that's how I was internalizing
Yeah, that's
it.
how you felt.
And I was very scared, and I would be like, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to. Like, I'm just. Oh man,
Do you consider yourself empathic?
Oh yeah. I will absorb like a lot of different stuff. Don't try to push some shit on me.
Nah,
but like not you. But I was just like, but
Yeah.
like,
'Cause I think, like you said, like that's what a lot of, especially our generation, a lot of us who came into, because I was listening to somebody talk about that. She was talking about how like a lot of us, we came into these environments and we got exposed to it early as children. We got exposed to like the real world, we got exposed to chaos. We got exposed to like these heavy problems as children. And a lot of us felt alone. And then we had to grow up and find our tribe and find our people and find like-minded people to like a bunch of light bulbs coming together in this dark, chaotic, crazy world. Yeah. And then now to be the light, what I'm saying, to be that powerful, you bring a light, light, it's strong when it's a lot of light.
That's right.
We are the beacon. We are the lighthouse.
Absolutely. And what is light without darkness?
Come on.
There is no light without darkness. Without light, light is not.
Out of
Does that make
darkness
sense?
comes light.
Exactly. If everything is light, there is no light. There just is.
Even in the context of like the macro to macro, right? Like the universe or quote unquote space is infinite darkness. Yeah. And there are some stars that are able to create planets and feed life. But ultimately, even in the universe is pitch black. Yeah. Darkness is darkness.
Mm-hmm.
But then that brings me to the whole everything's perception.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like when you start to break them down, who told you that darkness is scary? Who told you that being in the night is something that you should be afraid of?
Exactly.
That's real.
And I learned that with my kids because, oh my God, I used to be terrified of the dark.
Happy over.
Terrified of the dark. Yeah. And then I started
because it's your nothing but your imagination.
Absolutely. It really is.
It's only pure subconscious.
That's all it is.
Have you ever been into
I used to be afraid of the dark.
A deprivation tank?
No, I haven't done that.
Bro, okay. It's not for everybody.
Understood.
I didn't think it was for me. It was
Disclaimer.
introduced to me.
You know what I'm saying? Don't
you,
go
you
do it.
mentally have to prepare yourself because let me tell you, like my inner child was definitely.
What
coming
is
up.
that?
Yeah.
So
What-
okay,
yeah,
like,
go on.
Yeah.
what is
Go on,
it?
go on.
What is it?
Yeah.
Wait, do you know what it is?
No, I have no.
Okay.
No.
So a deprivation tank. So it's depriving you of everything. Like it's almost like think of you like it'd be like you floating in the universe. Because everything is perception. Like let's say that we're all matter, right? So this like low key may not even exist. We may not even we.
So you just float in dark. I'm confused.
You float in buoyant water because it has so much salt in it that it keeps you buoyant.
Dope.
On top of that, it's your temperature. So it's the temperature of your skin, right? So you feel like once you start to like really let your mind go, you don't feel like you're anywhere. You feel like you're weightless. And then it's dark.
You're just floating.
It's dark and there's no sound besides if you like maybe move in the water, you can hear the water, but that's it.
And
But if you don't move,
pitch black in there?
It's pitch black. You're
dope.
completely by yourself.
So it's like a.
It's a deprivation tank.
So how long are you in there?
Yeah.
I think it's an hour or two.
Oh,
That's what's up.
so it's like, oh yeah, I get it. So that's like a real it's like a rite of passage in its own way, huh?
Definitely. It's a whole
yeah.
psychological. That's the moment I started to realize that it was my mind that was making me scared of a lot of things.
Definitely.
Because I was just like, I'm here.
Yeah.
I literally was like a little kid. Like I put the towel on the door so it wouldn't completely shut because I got paranoid.
I understood.
Mind you, the door was locked.
Yeah.
It's like I had it, and I would like slowly because I was still trying to overcome the fear. So I was like, I knew what I was trying to do, and I could have definitely stayed trapped and let's be safe. But I like slowly would close it, and then I finally just let myself be there. And it took me a long time to rest my mind. My mind was like, oh, but
Yeah.
and then I started getting scared, and I accidentally touched the wall. And I was like, oh my god! And then I was like, I opened the door right away, and I was like, girl, you in here by yourself.
Yeah. Okay.
You checked out this whole entire room
It's okay.
for you. Like, there is nowhere for you to go. There is nowhere for anything else to come in. That is one door. That's it.
Understood.
And it's definitely an experience.
But that goes back to like, the empath, like the star child. Like we know, like I was always the spooky kid in my family. They know, like I know.
Spooky in what sense? Like,
As far as like I was abnormally connected to the spiritual realm.
Understood. Okay.
I would have sleep paralysis. I would have visions. I would speak in tongues.
Yeah.
There would be times where I'll be asleep and I'll wake up and scream. Right, and just run in the living room, and then forgot that what happened, and then just be standing there like, what happened? Like as a kid, I would always have sleep paralysis. As a kid, like my dad would have to come and like pray because Tim in there shaking and shit. You know what I'm saying? But then once again, back to like that goes back to realizing I drink too much caffeine. That goes back to realizing I need to eat healthier.
Yeah.
That goes back to realizing I need to meditate. I need to relax. So it's like they definitely go hand in hand because I was afraid of my mind until I educated myself.
Yeah.
Right? And then once I educated myself and it stopped being scary and spooky, like because the spiritual and the physical they do go hand in hand.
Yeah.
So like my spiritual powers definitely got a lot better when I started taking care of my body, doing yoga, meditating, going for walks, going for jogs, being alone, eating healthy, of course, growing food, essential oils, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
But it rings very true because I grew up very afraid. Period. Just afraid. Just scary.
Yeah.
Just scared. Scared of the dark. Terrified of the dark. I used to wake up at like 2 a.m, like almost every day as a kid. From like a child up until probably like 15. When like every day, middle of the night, wake up 2, 3 a.m, laying alone, just laying in bed, 3 a.m, thinking.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially after I seen it scary. I would hate going to movies. I still hate watching because right now, like you said, like the we can't control what they put on that box. No. You could be watching a random show and then you'll see a trailer of The Exorcist.
Even a kids channel sometimes. Like not necessarily The Exorcist, but it might like pop up something, or they have the scary songs, and then like I was like, my kids were never afraid of the dark because we didn't teach them to be afraid of the dark. And then my brother scared them, and then they watched something. And it was a Halloween spooky song, and after that they were like, I'm like, the heck?
Yeah, the
What?
the parasite, the thoughts.
Yep.
I seen it as a child.
Oh, man,
me
yeah.
too.
Okay,
Me too.
and I
That
fully
fucked me up.
understood. Of
Yeah,
course,
that fucked me up,
This is
bro.
because
That nigga was in the
And
sewer,
that was me
dog.
like this.
That shit was terrifying.
We're talking about
Hey,
a
I'm
That
not
shit was
gonna lie.
terrifying.
Every
Yes,
time
That
I
shit is
still
terrifying.
go by the sewer,
yeah,
I'm still like,
who's? Oh god,
It's not a clown.
Terrifying,
This is
bro.
a multi-dimensional
Actually,
being.
we don't even need to dive
Okay,
into
yeah, but
bro.
just
I'm-
I got
Oh,
the reality
God,
of it.
yeah.
You get what I'm saying? I get it. As a child, I fully
terrifying.
understood
Yeah.
the depths of it. So it was like
He ate them niggas, right?
it was
yeah,
I
that's
fully
terrifying.
understood the depths
Yeah.
of it,
Oh,
and I
God.
watched that as a child, bro.
man.
I watched Vampire and Book. I watched a lot of scary movies as a child.
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? As 5, 6, and I'm just watching these scary movies.
Yeah.
So then I had to realize, why was I scared? Because I had to do a lot of unpacking of like, why am I scared? Oh, because you got exposed to things that a 5-year-old shouldn't be exposed to.
Yeah, a clown that eats children in the sewer, bro. That's intense.
While living on Hoover Street. So when I'm not watching TV, it's drive-bys.
I understand.
And
I
crackheads.
don't understand. Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Real life drive-bys, real life crackheads.
I understand.
So the levels of like fear and trauma, they just stay with you.
I understand.
Till you become numb of it, till you normalize it. Then you got to unpack and realize it's not normal for a child to be exposed to these type of things.
To it and drive-bys,
To
bro.
eat and
That's a
drive and crackheads.
That's a
For
lot.
real.
That's a lot.
That's a
man.
lot.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
That's a lot.
I don't envy that.
So by no stretch, should you?
don't.
I don't. But once again, it's one of the things where it's like you said, like getting thrown into these crazy environments as children. That's why I
It's
still
a
now.
desensitization.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is curious because I'm always like, oh, they desensitized, and I was like viewing it as such a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
But then as life teacher, like I said in this experience, oh, did you have something to say?
Oh no. Keep going.
That, like I said, like you, very scary and all that type of stuff. But because of all that stuff happened, I had to keep like pulling myself back, right? Did not know what I was doing. But I was telling you how like I felt like I was detaching myself from everything. And I was like, how that's difficult because I am a mother too. But then still trying to work through love, realizing like my detachment. I've been through that detachment with, one of my parents.
Yeah.
Maybe even both.
Yeah.
And how that impacted me so much in my value of self.
Yeah.
And that was not something that I want to keep doing.
You don't want that loop.
Right. And even though I'm going through something, I need to let's say this, the simplest way I could say it. I follow this, I wish I remember her Instagram. I just started following her, but she's a mother. And she is giving like just different tips and information and like the psychology of everything and working with kids. And she was saying,
Instagram, right?
the day that I
black?
realized, light skin. And she has like, I think 2 or 3 kids.
Understood. Okay.
And she might have twins.
Yeah.
She was like, the day that I realized that I was the first face that my child ever saw.
Oof, yeah.
Before they saw themselves, made me start to think about how I reacted to things, my facial expressions, the things I said, how I went through
They're
life.
learning.
All of it.
They're learning.
All of
Their
it.
mind is
All of it.
processing everything.
All of it.
Absolutely.
And you yourself every day, every time you see somebody. That's why they say like when you shine your light, you allow somebody else to shine their light. But if you dim yours, you allow them to dim theirs as well.
Yeah.
And that impact that's why everybody's very important. Everybody's essential in that way, shape, or form, right? But knowing that little bit of information, right, has transcended my thought process with everything. And knowing that even in my place of disconnect, maybe it's not the disconnect from everything. It's just the disconnect from the things that aren't serving me. It's that detachment from, I need to step back because this is very overwhelming. And if I don't, I'm going to start acting in that old way. And that's not going to get me anywhere. I'm going to get stunted. I'm not going to be able to function. I'm going to be dysfunctional.
Absolutely.
And to realize, but I know that love is still here. I know it still exists. I was brought here through that love,
Absolutely.
right? As we all are, even if we didn't feel it or were taught that. And that in itself is all of a system. Whether it's brought by the devil, the government, the higher power, whatever, right? Whatever the beliefs are, it was established like that for us to be minimal when we're very expansive. And once you start to shift and change that, you get to see the value and the beauty in everything.
Absolutely.
And even when there is, when I say like perspective, that I don't know if anything's really any good or bad anymore, because once you start to detach yourself from that perspective, you start to realize like it just is, and it's just a moment.
Chaos.
That's right.
It's just, right.
Chaos
It's
isn't good or bad.
It just is
chaos.
It just is.
Because it could be most of the time it's leading you someplace else. You're just trying to drag this old part still with you, and it's like leave it. You're not listening. I said leave it. You know what I mean? So
Redirect the energy.
yes, that redirection of energy. Definitely.
And then what having children has really forced me is to love without attachment. And love is not love if you have conditions or expectations, or if you're attached to it. Because if you're attached to something, you're attached to somebody, or children, wife, anything. You're attached to an expectation of what you think they should be, right? So you're already constricting them, and that's not what love is. Love is freedom. Love is hands off. Love is be you. That's a law with all of us.
Yeah,
be you. That's what I gave you.
Yeah.
Be you. That's the ultimate sign of love. So if you're already attached, you're really attached to the idea of somebody.
Your own imagination, once again.
You're attached to your own idea about this specific person, this subject. So by the power of your own mind, the attachment can constrict their movement. And it does, especially as a parent. So what my biggest dilemma has been is like, because I've always had the mentality of I don't want them to go through my own bullshit, right? But being too heavy-handed with that and not allowing them to explore their own quote. There's no mistakes. There's just journey and progress in life. To make their own what I would perceive as mistakes was inhibiting their forward motion. So in another dream, when I went to Africa like 2 years ago, and when I got back, I immediately went to my children, had them both sleep with me, and then the dream he showed me was, I showed you Africa, I showed you the journey, I showed you where I want to go, and then but one thing you're not confronting is your attachment to your children. But the way he showed me in the dream was just graphic, but it was just me and like a whole bunch of human flesh. Yeah, it's like I was swimming in human flesh, and I knew that human flesh represented my attachment to my children's bodies. Wow. And you got to keep in mind, like, we don't own anybody. Yeah. Especially children, especially our husbands or wives, partners. We don't own them. We are stewards of them, stewards of their spirits. And the spirit of everyone, that's Allah, that's God. So it's like there's no superiority. You aren't smarter or better than them. They're just at a different body time than you are, right? That's all it is. That's all it is. So you really have to love with that in mind and be detached, and just always keep in mind that you own nothing and you are a steward of all that Allah allows you to come in material contact with, right? Yeah, but that's a big takeaway for children, because it's like with men especially. It's
Shout out to y'all parents.
Yeah,
honor to the parents.
I have to say, here, thank you for being honest about that, because those type of things I'm always afraid to like speak out.
Yeah,
and I'll be like, no.
I feel it too.
But isn't that fear that's holding you back? Absolutely. Right, is keeping you from something maybe we are supposed to be. I know for me, it's something that I need to overcome, is that attachment. Like I said, God real. Be giving me things in bits because he know I can't handle things all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Like, there must be some years ago that I was like hearing some information. It was like, oh, start piecing it together. I'm like, oh, that's actually making sense now.
Yeah, absolutely. And he only gives you what you can handle.
Right.
But right up to the limit.
Right. And he's like, you know what? I was giving you just little bits, but you just not getting it. So I'm just about to just give it to you hard.
Yeah.
It's so currently living, it depends, like perception, right?
Yeah.
I think I'm like living a pretty dope imagining of like the progression of my life and a difference in perspective and everything.
Yeah.
But then others might consider me homeless, right? And technically it's true, but technically it's not. So in my reality, I have a home. It's just very mobile.
Word.
And we have neighbors, and they're mobile. And that's, we look out for each other, and then that's the situation. Right?
There's definitely a shift into like a lot of people shifting into RV campers, van life, buying a school bus, schoolies. Schoolies is a full thing.
Schoolie, that's the next one right
Schoolies
there.
is a real thing.
Wait, so you got an RV, you got a camper?
I have a trailer that's, by the grace of God, my dad let us use. It just worked out.
Yeah.
Maybe he pushed it to work out too.
I understand.
But I had been looking for like a year, investigating and converting vehicles, all this type of stuff, and I was like, really, like, we're about to do this because, living that month to month. I want to say week by week, but not even realizing how bad it was until after getting out of it, like months after, like just recently realized, I'm like, that was actually really scary.
Yeah.
It's like, we were really like, I could have lived and been like, we would have been forced to live in a vehicle versus making the decision
Choosing.
like, hey, this isn't working and we need to do something alternative. And it's just alternative. Like even my family, they're like, once they're finding out, they're like, so what are you doing? Are you guys trying to find a house? And I'm like, no, we just want to stay here forever. Possibly. What the F? My kids is fed. We go out with them almost every day.
Yeah.
They go to the park. They've gone to the beach. I've had more time with my kids and my
facts.
partner, like in the whole entire, when we lived in an apartment, I'm living life now versus before.
Yeah.
Hey,
these norms of what we have to
absolutely.
do.
You got to do this.
You got to go pay somebody else. You got to go take out a loan from the bank. You got to go make somebody else's family richer.
Yeah.
You're not making somebody else's family richer right now.
Yeah.
Like what's wrong? Like no, you take power into your own hands.
That's right.
And then the lessons that you learn with that, I was like, not like we have a 25-gallon tank, having moments. It doesn't even like. Before it used to stress me. I would freak out. Like I'd be like. So when we first went in it, we had no electricity, no water, no propane to cook. It was I was gonna be, and then that taught me an interest and a love for raw foods now.
There
Like
you go.
I
That's what's up.
I was eating all, and I was realizing me and my kids like it's graphic, but poop within like 15 minutes after eating our greens. Well, we were just eating fruits and vegetables.
Yeah.
And realizing the comfortabilities and how those comfortabilities can stifle you a lot.
Definitely.
And to realize how wasteful you are. Mind you, I was mindful, but how wasteful you are. A family of 5 can make 25 gallons of water last for a week.
Damn. Good intel.
Yeah.
That's very good intel. Especially in these times when people are like, yo, we really gotta think of alternative lifestyles because I'm not doing this shit. You're forcing me to do something I want to do. I better think of something else. That's very good information.
Because it's so many different layers to quote unquote the system. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like mortgages and like you said, like that a lot of people's foundation of why they go work a job they hate is to be able to pay somebody else or pay the bank to live in a space.
That's right.
Or pay the bank to rent this house that they claim they own, but you don't own that house. The bank own that house.
Hey, once you find out that literally once you miss like what 1 to 3 payments, they could literally take your whole house, even if you only had like $5,000 left and you paid $345,000.
Yeah,
how?
That's insane.
How?
Because the bank own the
You
house.
can't forgive me on that $5,000.
No,
you can't just give me the
it's
house.
the bank's house.
No, hell no.
We still renting from the bank. Now there are different ways where people leverage it and Airbnb. I get it. There's a lot of different ways to leverage it, but ultimately, the foundation is you
paying rent.
You paying Peter. You robbing from Peter to pay Paul.
Absolutely.
And that I started really realizing that too, because even me come back home, come back to hood. People was like you gonna live, and I'm like, like as opposed to what? Like as opposed to
pay
what?
Another nigga that's not my family.
When I know I'm not like, especially I'm traveling, I'm doing so much stuff. I'm looking at, once again, we in the development stage of accessing hundreds of acres for farm.
Facts.
On record, let's be very clear.
Facts.
So my mindset was always on that type of stuff. Like my mindset was always on, I'm not about to put myself in a position to where I have to be thinking about this when I could maintain, keep myself humble, keep it cool while I'm trying to do this. Like my mind has always been on this.
Yeah.
And now it's happening. So I feel you where it's like people are gonna say what they're gonna say.
Absolutely.
But a lot of people once again go back to how dare you Be brave.
How dare you stop playing the game I don't want to play, but I feel I have no choice?
Yes.
It's all it is. It's a game.
Yes.
It's a game.
Yes.
Mortgage, game, job,
Yes.
cubicle. It's a game.
It's a game.
Okay, I can go to my job, pay this man, do this. I could finesse all this, and I am not the beneficiary of anything. I just think I just get material benefit, temporary material benefit that I don't even get to enjoy because I'm working all the time and I'm stressed all the time.
It's a never-ending rat race.
That's right.
Until you take a step back and then figure out how to maneuver.
That's right.
Like you said, it's not something like you feel like, okay, you're gonna do this forever, but it's also something like
everything's a tool,
you're not
right?
no rush to be like, let me go. You feel me? I know a lot of people who do, once again, schoolies. I was going to do a schoolie in Hawaii. I thought about
What's
doing
a
a school.
time out? We need to clear
A school
Is that
bus.
It's
Yeah.
a school bus that you convert into a home.
Turn
Dope.
Bro,
Okay.
you need to go on YouTube, okay?
I do.
And you need to just check out these van conversions.
Yeah.
It just changed your life. Van
Understood.
conversions, the things that people have done on schoolies, man. Like I was
beautiful.
just like
Understood.
that.
I used to
and have
watch
a
on
deck
YouTube
on
all the
top.
time.
Oh my god!
I really was
Very
gonna
good
do it.
intel at this time, bro.
I'm
Yeah.
telling you, no, it's
Yeah.
really serious. It's just,
Yeah.
it's mind you,
You
mind
can do it.
There's ups and downs to everything, right?
course.
But each thing has its own lesson. So this whole journey has not been simple. We had
understand.
a month in had our trailer towed. We thought it was stolen. Devastated, bro.
Yeah.
Devastated. And found out it was towed, and then paid
Why?
a heap of
Parking?
money,
Why?
and they dented it. They put a hole in our trailer, bro, and
Okay.
then literally was like, "Oh," I was like, "So are you gonna just like give us the whole money back that we just paid for the whole tow?" Nah. We'll give you half that because he sized up my bro. It was mad disrespect. That will get taken care of.
I feel you.
But
God got you.
all that God got us. God got us to bigger and better things.
Yeah.
But like with everything is like such lessons, right?
Yeah.
So like to realize, we talk about attachments.
Yeah.
When COVID started, I started freaking out. People were talking about, hey, they're gonna turn off the water. There ain't gonna be no toilet paper. You ain't gonna be able to do this. Okay, then mind you, like
Yeah.
I said, I was brought up in the end of the world thought process.
Yeah.
It's an end of a world. I can't
End
tell
of a
what
world. Yeah. End of a world. Facts.
End of a world is a fact.
And it's not a bad
It's
thing.
a matter of perception.
Yeah, exactly.
Where you want to lean it.
Sun's
right?
got a fucking set.
Something.
Yeah, right.
Something.
Yeah.
Right. And I was like, I was on the other side before. Now I'm on this side and I have a different perspective. But just learning, going back home, like going to shower, right? I have to go to my mom's to shower. It gives us time to like visit family and then also like jump back so people can miss you.
No, definitely.
Nice.
And then also getting away from energy of people still trying to figure themselves out and you having your own place to develop that and only have to own it on yours, but then still also having the whole learning process of having to completely, when the house was taken away, I was like, oh, that was everything, that was where we were supposed to live. And then you had to completely detach from what is a home. What is
Facts.
my value?
Yeah.
I was upset. My kids was trying to talk to me.
Yeah.
I wasn't paying attention. I was telling them to be quiet, give me a second, all this stuff. And I said, I'm like, y'all are here with me.
Yeah.
Y'all are here with me.
Yeah.
They're not worried about these things.
No.
I'm like, mommy, I gotta pee.
Yeah.
I understand.
The identity,
like-
we associate these, like you said, the attachment, they're associated with our identity, which is associated with our ego, which is associated with like, how do we view, who am I?
Yeah.
Who am I if I don't have these things? You know what I'm saying? Who am I? Like, I feel I was there. I went through living in a big house with a nice car and then realizing this doesn't matter.
Yeah.
This has nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
To living in a studio. And I was way more happier.
Yeah.
I had a mango tree outside, and I was there. Hawaii did it for me. It made me deconstruct everything. I had to deconstruct how I view myself. I've never in my life, there was a moment where I had no dollars because I chose to walk away and let stuff go and leave. There was a moment where I had $0.
Yeah.
And guess what? Everything was okay.
Yeah.
And then the next day, I still had $0, and I ate. I was still smoking. I still, you get what I'm saying? Like, I had to really be like, yo, I had to let go.
Yeah.
And then once I let go, then I start receiving way more money. You know what I'm saying? I'm still making money from my decisions in Hawaii. I'm still getting residuals and still getting checks and still getting things from the things I did.
Yeah.
To this week, I'm still getting paid for things I did in Hawaii 2 years ago.
Yeah.
To this day.
Yeah.
But I had to, like letting go of like attachment, letting go of like identity, letting go of ego, letting go of this is associated with my worth, my value.
Ooh, yeah.
And it's not associated. These things aren't associated because they things come and go. And even it helped me to look at people like that.
Yeah.
Don't associate people with these things and don't associate relationships. Because there's been points in time where I was like, oh, I'm gonna be in a relationship with you because you look like you got your life together.
Yeah.
And you don't got your life together.
Yeah.
And then the tables turn.
Yeah.
Those tables turn quick. I remember the tables turn.
Yeah. Yeah. And that goes what we were saying earlier about not having expectations on people.
And on relationships, on people.
Have no expectations.
Them tables turn quick.
Yeah, I understand that.
And now this person over here is very stable in their career.
Yeah.
And this person over here is stressed out.
Yeah, exactly.
And this is years later.
Absolutely. Yeah. Why'd they tow the trip? Yeah, we gotta go. I want to close this.
I see you over there, Tony. We see you.
Oh, she's sleeping?
No, she's making these faces.
Okay, so to get into that, because the information. Okay, so they don't necessarily like trailers and RVs on all the streets.
Yeah.
Luckily, where we at, there's a lot of RVs, trailers, a lot of life, but it's like a lot of truckers and stuff like that are there. So there's a big street, a lot of availability and stuff like that. And for the most part, the people on where we're at is clean and stuff. But what had happened was, at that moment, did not feel like everything happened for a reason. Yeah, but there was a lot going on. We were doing a month of us literally moving and trying to figure out places to stay, like literally at night with our kids in the car, trying to drive around, trying to figure out where we could stay at night, right? Like every day to every 2 days, we had to find a new place. And this place, I was like, hey, I've been in this area. It looks decent. I always see RVs and trailers there. Like, I feel like definitely we could park over there, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
We're like, okay, cool. We go over there, like, let's test it out. We were holding off for a while, and we're like, let's test it out. It's getting a little jarring to have to do this, wait for you to get off of work at like 9, 10 at night, and us have to uplift everybody, hitch back on, and then trying to move and look for parking lots that we could park and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
So then we finally parked there. And we're like, okay, cool. Went through the night. And we're like, wow, this has been great. To have one steady place. We ain't got to move no more. Oh, cool. That day. That's the main thing I forgot.
Yeah.
So we're on the way over there. Our license plate decides to fly off because we had the tarp on top of the trailer because it's been raining and our roof ain't like, the best right now.
Understood.
So we have leaks. So we had the tarp on there. But before we left, we were so stressed out. And something told me, hey, we should tighten up the tarp. Yeah. But I was, you don't be listening to yourself all the time. You're just like, I don't feel like arguing. I don't feel like putting extra energy into this. Let's just go. I'm tired.
Same with dreams. We just like, I ain't looking at that. I ain't looking at that.
Just don't feel like. So we're on the freeway, literally right before I exit. It knocks out the little side marker lights, and then the string knocks off our license plate. And I was like, ain't that a bitch? Okay. And I was like, fuck, okay, we're getting a new one, right? We're getting a new one. It's coming in the mail, blah, blah, blah. It was a temporary. We had just put it on, bro. Literally just before we had left, just put on the temporary plate.
Yeah.
Go park it. We're like, it's cool, yada, yada. It's attached to the van. The van is up to date, all this stuff.
Yeah.
Have it parked there. The next day, we were like, we're really inspired. We finally got a place. We're getting our stuff together. We go to my mom's, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to edit. And I end up being there way later than expected.
Yeah.
We go, and the shit, like I said, it was towed. And we go to try to find out what the heck happened.
Towed at your mom's house?
No, it was on the street. Literally, we thought it was stolen because they clipped the trailer off. They clipped the bars, everything, and like
off
drag it off the van.
Wow.
It wasn't even like we were just sitting there, just the trailer, and it had no license plate. It was attached. This is what I'm saying. The politics and the rudeness, because they were coming try to cleanse the area. So anybody, they were they just decided, no warning, nothing. They just came that day and was just towing people. You didn't have up-to-date tags, you was getting towed. Your license plate wasn't you was getting towed. Just randomly. They're like, normally they give us a warning. No, they just came and started like, literally, you were seeing the people like towed. And I was like, I feel bad for other people, because I'm like, I at least possibly can go sleep at my mom's house. I don't know where these people can go.
This is in Compton, right? Where's that?
Compton-ish. Yeah.
Understood.
Compton-ish.
Okay.
So, Compton-ish. So that was why. It's because our license plate had flown off literally the day before. And they just felt like they were being a-holes, because like I said, it wasn't attached to anything. It was just sitting there by itself. But because it's not the newest looking trailer, it has little things, had a broken window and all this type of stuff that inside we're like, everything look good. So the outside just don't look pretty. Right now. They just decided, and I was just like, so y'all just don't understand that y'all just, in your minds, y'all think you just, I am a superhero right now because I am getting these trailers off the street, these people that don't deserve to be here, that are destroying the values of our homes. You literally, say we did not have the money. Say we were still that $0 in the bank. Did not have that money. Because we weren't about to ask nobody. Did not have that money. I was like, we and my kids would be living in my Kia.
Facts. Facts.
But maybe the whole point of it was to remind you that you do have the money.
Oh, I didn't take it like that. I just took it. I just took it that God, there was that attached. That is.
I know those things. Sometimes you go through these crazy things, and then you have the resources to take care of the crazy things, and then you be like, man, like, we are good. If something happens,
that's true.
Like you are protected. You are taken care of, and also like you do have the resources. Like you have the money. Like to for whatever. Like you are like nothing can take you off of you. Good, no matter like you are good. We are good. Sometimes that's all these crazy things we have. Just for you to realize that you have everything you need.
You have it.
I think another thing that it taught me was this, that was a fear of mine, and it was something that
and you manifested. You manifest that fear out the gate.
Manifested out the gate.
Out the gate.
But the positive thing was that it desensitized me. I still had a little bit of fear, but I had to like teach myself to let it go, because I was just like, it happened. And by the grace of God, it wasn't stolen. It was taken, and they was being mean, but I was able to get it back. And that was, but just make sure your stuff is up to date.
That's good to know.
Make sure you're not in no place that says that you're not supposed to be there. And just be mindful. Keep your stuff clean.
There we go. Keep
your stuff clean.
When people tell me about stuff that I initially think is a good idea, I always want to ask about the obstacles and barriers to it. Like, cause
definitely
now you can't just have just fantasy. Like, no, where's the bullshit? That's what I want to know. With any plan, any problem, anything that you're doing, I want to know. Okay, that's all cool, but what's the bullshit? Right. So when it comes to circumstances, like I just asked you, like, where's the bullshit? But even relationship, I always ask people, but what did you do? Right. I'm that dude. I always just run responsibility on people, because I want to know the truth. And the truth is multifaceted. It's not just, this nigga done this. It's like, you did something too. Because you put yourself in the situation, and you made, and you created that. You were a co-creator in that circumstance. So what part did you create to bring it to that condition? Right.
Negligence.
Negligence.
Y'all definitely like a part of like the, we are part of the vanguard, of like just recreating a new reality.
Absolutely.
And that, like I said, that's something I've definitely been tapping into and thinking about and considering and looking up. And I know a lot of people who are like, knowing that we have to some degree plug out.
Absolutely.
Of plug out of the game or the matrix.
Absolutely.
A lot of people who we know have their whole life is rooted in like paying mortgage. There are people who are winning the game, and there are a lot of different opportunities, definitely. But a lot of people whole life is rooted in paying mortgage, and a lot of people's self-esteem is very tied into their homes.
Absolutely.
And their homes are such a like triggering, man. People homes is like people that invested. I know people who've invested 20 years, 30 years into paying their homes off.
Yeah.
You know. And then some people invest. Some people will pay the home off, but you still got to deal with paying the state and paying the taxes.
Yeah, in capitalism, material items, especially houses, cars, are proxies for your self-worth. That's you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So when you attack that whole game that they're playing. You're attacking literally their values. So you're gonna catch that work.
And that's the biggest part of our the biggest aspect of the American economy is the house, is the mortgage.
It's a mortgage.
And that's the number one that our culture isn't invested into.
Yeah.
That's shout out to BWO because I'm learning how to trade 10-year and 30-year interest bonds.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Because it's like that's like the major. That's the major player in the American economy.
The player in the American economy, and it's what makes the middle class the middle class, and the middle class is why this country is this country.
Definitely,
the middle class is what keeps this country together. Because broke niggas don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
rich niggas don't give a fuck.
They don't.
It's the middle class that wants to keep the poor niggas down.
Yeah.
And then eventually become the rich niggas.
Yeah.
That literally keeps this country together.
Isn't that a whole curious situation? Because aren't they saying that the middle class is disappearing?
Mm-hmm.
So how's that all work?
Because there's the middle class is becoming basically there's still a middle.
Yeah.
The poor are getting poorer.
Yeah.
The rich are getting richer, but a part of the rich are getting richer is the middle class going up. Some middle class people
Very few going up.
Like there's going to be a new middle class now. That's my point. Like the new middle class is going to be like if you're making 100,000.
Facts.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're going to be in the middle class.
Yeah.
Because that's like especially studying the market. Now that I'm really studying the market and really making sense of the market, it's like if we don't adapt, everything has inflation.
I was just about to ask that.
It's
I
all
was like,
inflation.
If you really broke it down, it would end up eventually kind of being the same thing, right? Yeah. Every time, like, okay, when people were getting paid $7 an hour, and then, right?
Yeah.
And we think of like, oh, that was so little, but literally it's kind of like the same as now because it just always like, remember when a bag of chips was 25 cents and now it's like 50 cents, 75 cents for the same bag, but it's literally the same life. Just
and
I remember when gas was under $1. I remember.
Me too. Yeah, but I think what it really looks like is like there's less entrance to the upper class. That's what it is. There's more capital, less entrance to the upper class.
Yeah,
middle class, more people just become broke and they stop playing. Less game player. More poor. There's more poor people. More capital up top. Less entrance up top. Less people. More people that leave the middle class and become poor people, and then everyone's paying and everyone pays rent.
The middle class pay taxes.
I guess then that's the whole thought process again about perspective, because what is the meaning of poor?
Good question.
Exactly.
Good question.
I know the American poor ain't poor.
True.
You know that much.
Yeah.
Just I know, but also it's like I don't know. I don't want to find out.
Yeah. True. Yeah.
But because I travel and I've been in third world countries, and it's like it definitely when people walk up to you and ask you for your pants and they say you're an American, you can buy more pants.
That's real, man.
It changed my life.
That's real.
Because I didn't know if she was playing or she was like kind of playing.
Yeah.
But she really wasn't like playing.
Yeah.
She's like, bro, you're an American.
Yeah.
You can just buy more pants off Amazon. We don't have Amazon here. We don't have eBay here.
That's real.
And I'm like, you right? Like I could just order more sweatpants off of eBay.
Yeah.
Like certain countries, like there's no eBay in certain parts of Central America.
Yeah.
Like a lot of like once again back to like the mortgage is the most liquid. It's the biggest part of our economy, and most of us don't. We can literally get rich and become wealthy just from trading our mortgage rates in itself. Mm-hmm. Asia makes more money from American mortgage than America does, because America overall, the majority of us don't have no investment into the American economy. Most quote unquote poor people just don't actively be involved in what it is to be an American, which is the economy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's not like
which is what we push all the time.
Yeah, the economy. I mean, it's more like how much of us are involved in the economy.
But I even in thinking in that, it's just none of it makes any damn sense. Okay,
yeah.
Like how how do you dumb your people down so far, right? Like the school system
Definitely.
is below, but still
Absolutely.
call yourself like one of the highest powers, and then sit around like, how do you have so much confidence but literally not be doing the shits? Like
Because Americans don't own America.
I've heard that.
You feel me? That's why. Like even the context of the American dollar, the euro is more valuable than the American dollar because we still are up under the queen. So our energy, we don't even own our own energy or like invest in. We don't control our energy. We don't invest into our energy. But it does, like you said, come down. That's why they dumb us down. They dumb us down because we don't understand our own energy.
No.
Like your power, your energy, what you do affects the world.
Yeah, absolutely.
What we do here, the whole world watches.
Yeah.
Like even something as simple like how, you know, the basketball team winning the Olympics, or like the point, like what we do here, the whole world watches. And we who are actually born here and who actually come from here, most of us aren't in control or have a stake in the game, and most of us we get programmed to just work for the wealthy who have the stake in the game.
Yeah.
You know?
I think it's like, you know, have you ever like watched shows or movies? Okay, let's think of the closest thing I can remember. Have you guys ever watched Issa Rae, her show Insecure?
Yeah.
You know the company that she works for? It's supposed to be in like Inglewood. She's supposed to do stuff with like inner city kids, and she takes them to the beach for the first time, and they're all like, "Whoa, we ain't never been to the beach before." I think of it like in that type of perspective. Even with myself, like I used to move all around LA and have no idea where I was. I didn't know, you know, Snoop Dogg and all that stuff. When they were singing about Long Beach, I was like, I thought it was some far away land, and end up being like, "Oh, I live here now." Like, but to realize the restrictions in just that, seeing your world, like even thinking of like people that grew up in small towns, all they know is their world like this, right? And then once they go someplace else, it's expanded. Once they go someplace else, it's expanded. And if you limit people's exploration, right, and you're just saying like, oh, with my attachment to my children, I'm limiting them through this experience. It's the same, right? You can minimize people's intelligence. Through that. And it's not just through the school system or anything. It's just really like or talk to people that live what people would consider the hood, limiting them to think the whole existence is just a circulation of prostitutes, drugs, trash, no value of self, no completing school, no, you know, not having dysfunctionality, and that's the norm. You're not being able to talk about your feelings, but fighting and hurting people and thinking that's a thing.
Facts.
And hurting yourself, and you know what I mean, and that's the value. Okay, but let's have possession and all that type of stuff, but not have a nice old car, but you pull up to the projects, you know, like different things like that. Like the power in limiting people's experiences and how that in itself completely restricts the availability of growth.
Absolutely.
And that's one of the main reasons why we going to Hawaii to film season 2 of Hood and Healthy, because we want to show people like something different. You know, and like just expose the masses to like somebody from the hood who made it out the hood, working with people who all have the same like mind, and then showing like these are the lessons that I've learned from this place, and bringing that back to the hood. Absolutely. And reminding us like we're not limited. You know, we are not limited, because I definitely understand like the TV is a super limiter. Like we expect growing up in LA, it's like be a star or be a celebrity, be a rapper, be a be an athlete, and that's what we've been marketed. Like we get marketing. They tell us what we should and should be, what we should and should do. That TV, the Instagram, radio, like I feel you. Our generation is the first generation of like really being able to see outside of the lens of like your normalcy.
And the weirdness of it is through media.
Yeah.
Isn't that the weird part?
Yeah.
It's like that's why it's like it's all a matter of perception. It can be like one thing, and then it could
We
also
use this. Yeah, we use the same tools of suppression.
Yeah.
We just use them to uplift.
I moved to Hawaii because of Instagram.
Yeah,
so
understood.
Oh, really?
I mean, Instagram was the channel was the channel that allowed it to take place.
Yeah, but
you know what I'm saying?
The human species is born into the suppression of experience, where you have to operate within this box. This is what you do. They literally inject babies with vaccines as soon as they come out the womb. Like, it's just like, no, you playing this game.
Yeah.
no, you playing this game. Like, literally as soon as they come out, it's like, oh, we gonna get you. No, this is our shit.
You can't leave the hospital if you don't get that.
Oh, absolutely no.
The fear, like the amount of like if you don't have. Like I said, maybe meet up for another podcast or something. But that experience, that first pregnancy experience versus my second one, right? And then the choice in self of to do an alternative, even though it was close to the end. It's so much information and knowledge gained from that, and I don't think like self-worth and like I value my opinion more now.
Yeah.
Because of it.
Absolutely. Because it's all based on fear.
It is.
Fear and guilt and shame. Because if you don't fuck with our shit, you're a bad parent. You're a bad human being.
If you don't take... If your child dies, it's on you.
It's on
your
you.
child gets sick, it's on you.
Yeah.
But who's pointing the fingers if my child gets sick because of what you did?
Because of what you just did.
No accountability.
Exactly.
No
Nothing. Exactly.
Nothing.
It's the exact same psychological operations that are done with this vaccine. It's just like, okay, if you don't do it, you're a bad person. You're not a different person who has autonomy to make choices.
Of self-worth, right?
Exactly. It's like, straight up. It's like you're a bad American. Yeah, it's a psyop. Straight up. You are a bad American. It's like, no. You're not. The truth.
And then it's like, if you don't do it, now we're gonna punish you.
That's where we're at right now.
Now you're being punished. It goes beyond. Now you're being punished. Now we're going to level 3, where now you can't have none of this over here. It went from, if you are vaccinated, you're cool. I remember at the Dodger Stadium thing where, hey, we got a vaccinated section. You turn up. You know what I'm saying?
I'm sorry. This whole thing switched up.
It's
real
quick.
It went like, hey, so there's some information out there that this is what they're trying to push to like, people aware to hyperspeed.
Yeah.
Boom, 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 boom.
And that's how it's a military operation. This is run,
you can't go to the you can't go to restaurants.
Yeah, this whole vaccine push, it's run by the U.S. military, which is why, 1, it's effective, but 2, it's why warfare is not, it's timing. It's like you want to attack when they're not expecting. So that's why right now it's like, okay, go now.
Yeah, they just opened everything back up in June.
Yep.
And then everyone opened up.
Literally gave everybody like a glimpse
of freedom.
And everybody got sick.
Yep.
A lot of people got sick in June.
First off, let's sit back with that.
Right?
I think that pisses me off.
Go.
When they were like, we're gonna open up for the 4th of July. Why? Why? Oh, the numbers. I'm sorry, they were down to. Are we at 0? Have we been at 0 for like a year?
Man.
But you said.
They opened
logically, all your motherfuckers, I don't care if you, like, everybody, like, how, let's think about that.
Yeah.
Like, to me, I was just like, if I want to, I was like, I will get scary, I'll get nervous, all that type of stuff, I'm there with y'all. But then when I started stepping back and thinking about it, I'm like, that doesn't make any sense.
None of this makes sense.
Why would I, that's like
confusion.
Me going, that's like me knowing that everywhere,
Yeah.
It's like you jumping in a bed of needles.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
And be like, I know there's maybe one of these that are not infected, but all of them are infected.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna take that risk that the one that pokes me is the one that doesn't have
Yeah,
it.
like what? It's completely backwards, Anna.
Yeah.
It's very, and that confusion is
That's what people were getting confused.
People doing
It's
it.
just
People are confused and scared at the same time.
Yeah.
That's a tricky
Right?
situation.
You're confused, you're scared, and then you're feeling guilty for not doing it. And then opening it back up created what I realized.
Yeah.
I had a talk with my family, right? A lot of people felt guilt and shame from the opening up.
Yeah.
And then, because a lot of people got sick and died. Let's be clear. Like, people have got sick and died when everything opened back up.
Yeah.
So a lot of people started internalizing
Yeah, of course.
of like, well, maybe, maybe I could have did something better. And then a lot of people started pointing fingers and saying, you are the
unvaccinated.
You the one did it.
The people who chose not to play the game I'm playing are the reason.
No, and it started happening.
Wait, that's a scapegoating thing.
Yes.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course.
Yes,
Yeah,
I've heard it. People
Straight
started blaming people for you're the reason such and such died.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Yeah, I understand.
no, the whole city of Los Angeles opened up. Los Angeles is millions of people in a very, very small area.
Yeah.
How, like, logically,
Very
that doesn't
small.
make it.
Yeah.
It's open. Let's go. The streets are
Mind you, I
open.
was
So
out.
that's how
I
the
ain't
streets
gonna
are open
lie.
tonight. I was like,
I was outside with it. Let's be clear. But I definitely stayed safe and everything.
No,
I
you're
was out.
funny. I was like, oh, y'all all out. I'm going back in.
Yeah, I feel you.
I feel you.
I'm out when y'all
popped out.
in.
I feel you.
popped
I'm
out.
out when y'all in,
Yeah.
and I'm in when y'all out.
Yeah.
Because logically, that just don't make any sense to me.
I feel you.
I was like,
understand.
even
I feel you.
before all of this,
I feel you.
I was not effing with, like, if I heard you sneeze, I was like,
No, facts.
I understand.
I don't play.
like, no.
I understand.
Why would I play?
I get it.
I want to be healthy.
I completely
I
I want to
understand.
be healthy. So it's like,
Yeah,
it's
do your
nothing
thing,
to
bro.
like anybody that want to be healthy. It's like you choose what you want to choose and you choose what makes you feel right. Because maybe if you got it in your spirit, you're like, everything's okay. So your spirit is holding on to that and your body feels that energy.
Yeah.
And then there you go.
Yeah.
And then some people, there's a whole lot of factors to everything, your genealogy, like all your, like all that type of
Your
stuff.
spirit.
Your spirit, like everything
Absolutely.
impacts it all because, like my dad would like to say, things don't happen in a vacuum.
Oh.
It's a whole thing. Everything factors in, and it's not it. It sets it on many, but it was only made one specific way and not one size fits all to everything. Like my pants can't fit you necessarily. Like they ain't gonna fit you like they fit me. You know what I mean? And you know what I mean? That's why there's a bunch of different sizes.
Yeah.
That's right.
But it's not made like
There's
that.
a bunch of different sizes, but there's only one vaccine for
That's what I'm
everybody.
saying.
Like,
That's
come
what I'm
on,
saying.
man.
Like
multiple
it
different
doesn't.
companies.
Come on. Yeah,
It doesn't.
thank you.
It's one, but it's only one, but it's multiple.
Yeah, that's true. But these companies are not making specific vaccines for different ethnic groups. They're making,
Yeah,
they're making,
and that's
I'm like, okay.
that's
I'm like,
very
okay.
important.
I'm like,
even
dude.
I was like, if you learn anything, even
Dude,
with
no.
you going to what's her name again?
Dr. Song.
Dr. Song.
Yeah, Dr. Song, 3 Angels Health Center.
Three Angels. Yes.
Yeah.
Looking out for you, Mom.
Yeah.
But even with that I've learned that based off your blood type,
Yeah, it's facts.
Absolutely.
you're not
Absolutely.
supposed to intake certain seasonings, herbs, or like foods and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Like you're not supposed. It's not conducive to your health and
Facts.
well-being. So
Facts.
even if I know that little,
Yeah.
that in itself should just. And then on top of that,
That's a really good analogy.
would you be okay if somebody injected you with their needle?
Fuck no.
No.
Fuck no.
So why would I want somebody to put something in my body? If I'm not okay if you sneeze or cough near me, why am I okay with you injecting me with something that, like,
Yeah.
I don't want anything put into my body?
Absolutely.
Like that. Like, to me, logically,
It's not
No,
smart.
it doesn't.
logically, it doesn't.
That I
because
don't
know. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, finish what you're saying.
So the whole way
Saying
it
the same
started,
thing.
and
Yeah.
the whole thing that it started is to build immunity was through a scratch. It was a surface thing.
Yeah.
And it was brought here by a doctor from Africa, and it was through the scratch, and that was it. It wasn't through injecting it into your whole entire bloodstream into your body.
Yeah.
Because if you know anything, you know what I mean. Once something goes into your bloodstream, that's traveling through.
Absolutely.
everything.
Yeah.
It's, yeah,
You
it's
know
a
what I mean?
part of
It's an airborne pathogen.
and it's mRNA. So
thank you.
this is genetic. This is
Genetic manipulation.
yeah. This isn't just like this is coding.
Yeah.
This is literally like an algorithm.
Yeah.
You know, it's a lot of layers.
That
to
part.
Yeah, yeah.
Actually, I think that's the part that kind of
A lot of layers.
Oh, yeah,
I
let's
was
figure
like,
it
out.
I was like, wait, so y'all.
This is software.
Yeah.
But then that even like expanded my mindset to me like, we're computers.
No, yeah, no, we are. No,
I was
no,
like,
no, no.
we're computers.
No,
because
it's-
like you can. I was like, you can mess with DNA.
Yes, you can.
You can mess with.
Yes, you can.
Is it NRA?
mRNA. mRNA.
You can mess with that. Mind you, go back to your biology books because
Yeah.
we learned this in school. Hopefully, even just a little bit of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I know not all of us were able to focus in school or,
Parasites.
be able to have that too.
Cheetos, hot Cheetos.
Bro,
Cheetos, yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, hot fries was my thing.
Hot fries was everybody's
But
thing.
you know what I
Flamin'
realized?
Hot Fries,
Bro,
yeah.
pimples.
Oh,
and the indication
facts.
of pimples and how that's like mucus trying to escape from your body because you're
Hard.
putting something
Yes.
into your body.
Yeah.
And you never like
There's so
man,
many
the
layers
stuff you
to it.
learn.
Yeah.
But like
Continue.
even the simple, I think when you start to realize the simplest things, that's when it starts to be like, oh, okay. And it's not scary anymore. And it's not that you're trying to battle anything. Because
Yeah.
like to each their own. Your truth is your
That's right.
truth. Your
That's
perspective
right.
is your perspective.
Absolutely.
And that's not for me to say here or there.
Yeah.
But it's just such a curious situation, this whole thing where it's like, I was reading something, they're like, whether you are or you're not, people are dying on both sides. People are
Yeah,
getting sick on
exactly.
both
Yeah,
sides.
yeah.
People, I'm like, why are we tearing each other apart? Why are we
Facts.
separating? Why? It's
Facts.
like, what? Your choice is your choice.
That's
right.
I don't have any domain. I don't have any, what was the word you were saying? I remember and I forgot. Your attachment. Like I don't control you.
That's right.
You have your choice.
That's right.
Right?
That's all you got.
That's all you got.
I'm not
So
anti
it's like,
none of it.
It's like, so in that, why am I pressuring you to do anything? That's like, you're not supposed to pressure people to have sex.
Yeah.
Facts.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And
You're
what-
not. That's
and what word?
bad. Yeah.
But I'm being pressured to put something into my body that I don't want.
Pressured very much so.
because
not even,
because back to we don't own our economy.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? These are French companies. You know what I'm saying? Like this is definitely about money.
definitely about money.
Wait,
Yeah.
that when I realized that was when they were
definitely
like,
about money.
oh, all these people are dying in India. Oh, that's so sad. But we're not giving you the patents because
Yeah.
we want to make sure that they're like, why don't you release the patents? This is really about saving the people. Why wouldn't you? Nah, because we don't want them taking it into.
No.
Really?
Yes.
Really, I think after that, I was just like, I'm done.
Cap.
I was like, I'm done because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, that shows where your mind is at.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't care about people. You don't care about our well-being. You don't love us.
No.
You don't nothing. You ain't trying to save nobody. You just trying to
Thank
get
you.
dollars in
If
your
they
bank account.
if they cared, they would have
At best,
at least
at best, they're just trying to get money. At worst, it's like, oh, now you're really trying to fuck people over with this
Yeah,
mRNA. What are you
exactly.
really doing?
They would at least
What are you
have
really
the
doing?
liability part. You know, that part is like to not basically relieving themselves of any responsibility.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
part.
Yep.
Which, and mind you, I get it because they're like, well, side effects happen. But it's like there's no
that is true because it's a one thing for everybody.
everybody.
which doesn't work in anything else.
Nothing
Like
at
even
all.
like you talking about blood
chicken.
type, body type,
Seasoning.
They have an Ayurveda. I've studied Ayurveda, which
Yeah.
is like those like your body. People have different frames,
Yeah.
so there are different times you should eat. There
Absolutely.
are different ways. There are different foods you should eat for different body types.
That's right.
If different spiritual paths work for everybody differently, like my spiritual path is not going to work for you because you are your particular person and had your own particular experiences and brought here by your own particular way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why would that not be for everything else? That's why I'm saying, like, if you pull it back and don't do the politics of it and just do little things, right? Like I said, comparing it's like you can't, if somebody forces you to have sex, that's rape.
That's right.
Right.
If somebody touches you inappropriately, they could get in trouble.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, somebody bullying you to vote for somebody is wrong.
That's right.
Why is it not in this same manner? Or why is it not be that? Why are we completely forgetting the logic of it all?
Yeah.
It's like, if this is meant and this is supposed to happen and this is safe, why is it not a choice anymore? Why am I being restricted? Why am I being pulled away? Why am I
Exactly.
being told this and that? Mind you, matter of perspective because it opens a lot of different doors for a lot of different things if you're willing to open them.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like you have to, like the unveiling is there. Like you just like, you either gonna completely cover yourself. I have, my grandmother's the one that taught me about like holistic stuff, right?
Yeah.
Or open the door, let's say, like open the door
Yeah.
to that. And even her, speaking to her, listening to all the news and TV and being fearful, I was so thrown away.
yeah.
I was like, Mom, but we know how to handle it. Like, why are what is happening right now?
Yeah.
People that I find like to be intelligent and to look through stuff and have always taught me to look through stuff are people that are like,
You know,
nah.
you gotta do
Well,
it.
people,
And I'm just like-
we're confused.
Yeah. Yeah. And
it's constant. It's nonstop
Relentless.
marketing.
It's relentless.
It's billions of dollars being spent on the pushing.
Yeah, and to answer your question, it's like the reason why we're not getting pushback as much as you will with rape and sexual assault or not having consent is because there is very high spiritual wicked forces that are pushing this with intention. Their intention, their intention is to vaccinate as many people as possible. And we said, obviously it's for money. That's just the first layer of it. I'm like, my question I'm asking, what is your real objective? What is in this fucking thing
We
that
don't
you
have
really
no
want to inject?
long-term studies.
Zero.
So we don't know.
We don't know.
That in itself, the reality, like you said, it's like we can. Because I was having this conversation. Also, it's like we can not look at what is obvious and right in front of our face and listen to what people are saying, or we can actually look at it for what it is, and it's just slow removal of your rights.
That's right. That's what it is.
It's slow removal of your free will.
Yeah,
it's Star Wars.
Yeah, and you said eventually it leads to chattel slavery, and it does,
or just a continuation of the chattel slavery, because this is something that every generation goes through.
That's right.
Like this is new to our. This is the first time our generation has been through something like this. But mind you, there was a World War I, a World War II, a Vietnam War, right? A stomach, the Great Depression, et cetera, et cetera. Like this is the cycle. Yeah. This is just new for our generation of like our world crisis. Yeah. We have been the most blessed generation to not have to really experience like a global crisis. But every other country, every other generation has experienced like World War I was a thing.
That was a thing.
World War II was even worse. Millions of people died in World War II.
Yeah, that was a thing.
It drastically shifted the entire economy because when they came back, that's when women started working. Women weren't working, and then World War II, so many of our young men, so many of our fathers, so many men died during World War II, and the ones who came back weren't ever the same. And then Vietnam happened, and Vietnam was a big thing too, because it changed generations. All the youth revolted, and all the old people were like, "You youth are." That's when the hippies and all that happened. So like, there's always a recalibration or reshift of like
a turning point.
Yeah. How can we keep y'all in chattel slavery? What can we do to make sure y'all boom? And this is ours.
It's just it's a whole lot of different things. You remember in the car I was telling you that it just seems like there's a lot of different things at one time, which has caused me to feel like a detachment because I was like, I need to step back because this is too much. I don't know how I'm supposed to be moving here.
Oh, absolutely.
It's like, you think about like, you hear about all the fires. You hear about the lack of water, lack of clean water. Then mind you, there are some people that have been living with this reality for a very, very, very long time.
That's right.
Let's us know that. So this has been a reality to a lot of people for a very long time. And now it's coming to us because now it's directly impacting us.
That's right.
But having the, this whole health is health. So like even just not even, building your immune system to make it as strong as best, to respect the body, right? To respect the body, the mind, the spirit, the everything, right?
Absolutely.
And to give glory to, the Lord for, allowing the existence and knowing that we need to participate in this differently. It's still a lot of stuff going on.
Absolutely.
I feel like there's a spiritual awareness that's going on. There's a lot of external stuff happening that like we don't necessarily have control over, and maybe that in itself is a lesson in its lesson there.
And the detachment, I'm right there. I think that's us, the ones who are the light, and whatever we knew we need to release our attachment from the outcome. And trust, and like you said, have faith, and not have fear. Like
that's right.
Just know
you need to detach from a falling world. This is, as you said, it's like the end. It's not end of the world. The world, this physical reality, is not going to end anytime soon. What is going to change is the order, and that's what we're talking about. Is the end of a world, and that's what all of these changes, these physical changes, the spirit, all that's happening is a sign of what's coming. So we've talked on this podcast about we're in labor. you know, and we're in labor with the child that is about to that is coming. It's being pushed out now. If it's not being crying baby, maybe it's a crying baby right now. I don't know.
Yeah,
But
I think
it's a crying baby, right?
It's like a brand new infant.
It's a brand new infant.
Yo.
Yeah. So it's like now, like you said, with perspective, it's like that's the perspective you have to have. If you're the light, if you're a builder, it's like, oh, this is the opportunity to make moves.
Yeah.
Right?
It's interesting that
It's
you guys
obvious.
think it's the crying baby. To me, only because I've experienced birth, it feels like that moment when you're trying to push.
Oh, okay.
Well,
That's what you
That
think
right
is-
before that release. That's
Understood.
that's what I would attribute this.
like right, like after the water broke, or like when you.
Oh
not,
yeah, like that. The intense of like your body. That was the first time I ever like realized what your body does.
Damn.
To have my second birthing experience was
Twins?
but that's
Is
because
that twins?
So the first time it was twins, and
Okay,
I did
understood.
that in the hospital.
Yeah.
Right, because I didn't want it to do it that way, but I was told that I was.
Yeah.
How do you have like one really good doctor that knows how to deliver twins, and then be turned to like a woman's clinic where you have rotating doctors that know nothing about your chart until they read it that day, and then ask you the same questions you just answered from the other one, but you
man.
considered high risk.
Come on.
Damn. I understand.
So the second time, very, very different only because I made a decision that I wanted to have a home birth or
Yeah.
water birth. But I went through the channels of the regular doctors and did not like it. And there were some things that afterwards I was like, it didn't feel right.
Yeah.
But when I went to them, I was like, yeah, they shouldn't be doing that type of stuff. And I was like, that makes sense. My body was telling me, but
Yeah.
I didn't know no different because I'm told to trust, right?
Absolutely.
So in that essence of like thinking of the climate of what was your question?
I forgot. You were talking about we saying baby's crying, just got out, baby screaming. You're saying I feel like I'm about to push.
Yeah, the initial
So-
Right.
push.
And my question was, what is your sign?
What do you think?
Ooh. Fire? It's a fire sign?
No. My rising sign is fire.
Okay. Let's go with Aquarius. No? Yeah?
I'm a Capricorn.
Oh, hell yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Me too. Hell yeah.
Yeah, I was
There we
like,
go.
I lived
Fuck
out
yeah.
there one time we were talking. I mean, not talking. We were talking. I was listening to you guys talk.
Oh.
Yeah, I was like, okay.
Wait, did I say I was a Capricorn?
I think you stated it in one of the podcasts.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I think you
Super-
guys were like
I'm
having
I'm
a
fucking
conversation
cat.
because
All day.
he was. I think you guys had somebody else that you guys were talking to, and then
was it that time?
they thought. I think it was the guy that
Tony?
he the realtor. I think if I'm not
Oh,
mistaken,
Rome.
I think
Rome.
so.
Rome.
I think so.
Yeah, I wasn't on the episode.
Yeah, Rome.
Oh, shit.
Brother Rome. Yeah.
Brother
No,
Rome.
okay, then it might not have been that episode because I remember you talking about being
A Cancer. I'm a
a cancer, and then
Elo? Was it Elo?
Maybe it might have been Elo.
We talk. I think
It
we
was
talked
something. It was
signs
something,
together.
but somebody
Okay.
got confused and thought you had a son, and you were like, "Nah, that's
Oh,
not the
I
situation."
met you.
I met you.
I
Oh,
met
you
you.
said my
Yeah,
son
I
is in
remember.
Cancer.
Yeah, my son
and
is-
then I
yeah,
think
yeah,
you
yeah.
were like talking, and then you
Yeah.
were talking about the way you work and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
And then, but the reason why I feel like it's the push
Yeah.
because that climax of that moment of like it hit me like, and I didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
And I was at a 100% complete loss, and all I felt was pain.
But your body knows what to do.
My body knew what to do, but I had, mind you, even though this was the second time giving birth, I never had experienced that
Understood.
That level of pain.
Because you had no
level of
anesthetics.
experience.
Okay, understood.
Because with the first ones, I was in labor at work and I was working. I was climbing on stuff. I was pissed off at everybody. I didn't want nobody to talk to me, but I didn't know what the heck was going on.
Yeah.
And I went into the hospital and I was 4 centimeters dilated. And, you're supposed to be a total of 10. So
Yeah.
I was going in. I had somebody telling me that I wasn't having contractions. I'm going too deep into the story. What I'm
Understand.
trying to say is that experience. And then I ended up having to get an epidural because was going off 2 days of no sleep. And they kept checking me. And my body kept going into a state of shock. I started shaking.
Yeah.
And I couldn't control myself. And I was like, I need to get an epidural in order to take this because I don't know if I'll be able to make it safely because I was trying to have them naturally. Or vaginally, I guess.
Yeah.
and they were trying to push the C-section. They kept coming in like, so we heard you're having a C-section.
Heavy.
I'm like, nah.
They
no,
push
I didn't.
C-sections crazy.
Bro, they be really trying to test you.
Push you.
They be really trying to make it seem like, oh, this is a choice you made.
No,
it had me effed up when they were like, oh, you have to sign these papers just in case you die. And I'm like,
from us cutting your stomach open.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, right. Yeah, they get paid.
like,
They get.
I
Look at this.
didn't
They
know.
get paid more money, and it's
Yes,
less risk
they do.
because they get paid more
Yeah,
money.
they
So
get paid.
they can be pushing that shit.
but
And
the thing is, it's like it is a risk because they don't align everything back. Like once you open it up, like you like, depending on the C-section that they give you, you can never have a natural birth again.
yeah, so they say. Yeah, yeah,
because you could completely tear.
that's right. Yeah,
Because you have to think it's all muscle.
That's right.
Like when I say like I literally like saw my stomach contract and like push down.
yeah.
I was like,
Damn, that's crazy.
I was tripping out that and being like, oh my God. Like you did completely like I said, completely different experience that I was expecting.
Yeah,
A beautiful am going to do that again. Future years. But like the experience that I'm saying is like I feel like to me it feels like you're about to push that first initial all the water's out. Now your body's gearing up to like do that big push to start just
This Leo season.
initializing
You're right.
that push out. And the scream that came out of me at that moment, and I was just at a complete like my mind just went, and I was like, oh crap. Like, and I was like, I don't think I could do this. That's where I feel like we're in. I don't think I could do this. There's a lot, like there's too much.
But
there's
you know, it's happening though.
but it's happening.
It's happening.
You got to push.
You got to push. You got to just push.
Oh yeah, you have no choice.
You got no
choice.
You got no choice.
Your body gonna do it for you.
Yeah, that's right, and that's where we are.
Unless your body's not acting correctly.
Yeah,
but that's something else. But
that's where I agree. Right.
Yeah,
that's where we are. That's where we are.
I like that.
I like that too.
Let's put a cap on that.
Yeah,
I think that's a great conclusion.
I think that's it. Yeah, that's
we're in that time. We're
in that time.
We go through it. We know what's happening.
Yeah.
We see it's happening. We went through the flood. We went through the rush.
There's no holding back. It's basically like you can't just be like stop now.
Doing nothing is not an option right now. Nothing. It's like you're stopping me from eating. If I don't take, all right, fuck. What am I gonna do?
Let's get a farm. Let's grow our own food.
Let's grow our own food.
And let's sell our own food to our own people and get our own food to our own people.
Let's network with people who are of like mind and start building alternative ecosystems because now they coming for us, bro. And so
let's continue to make our own shows.
That's right.
Let's continue to
still am that weird to still believe that there can be peace? And is that like a weird belief?
Not at all.
I was like, I just really like y'all can live in your life, we can live in ours, and it could be totally fine.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it's all a matter of perception. You might enjoy that.
Yeah.
I'm realizing I don't
like what?
Oh.
You don't what?
Chaos.
You don't.
I like peace. Like I was saying, like I want peace.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah. I want to live in peace.
I need peace, bro.
I want to live in peace. I really deep down, I want to farm and grow food.
I think we could all live in peace. I think it might sound weird, but I really do genuinely. We don't have to F with theirs. They don't have to F with ours. That's it. Like it's peace.
It's fine. No, it's mutual respect. It's like okay,
mutual
y'all play your game over there.
Y'all do what y'all want.
Do your thing.
I'm ready for it.
Yeah, do your thing. It's like It's all about, you can't deny someone else's choice, bro. Like, I'm not going to stop you from playing that game. You can go play that game, have fun. But I'm going to grow my own shit. I'm going to set up my own systems. Yeah. I'm going to make my own shows. I'm going to build my own kingdom.
Facts.
All right. And if y'all still around in 5 years, come fuck with me. But we'll see.
It's all real. This is how it all started.
It's long.
This is that everything is created.
Absolutely.
It was a thought. And then somebody proceeded to move on it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. And I'm actually I'm appreciative for this pressure because now it's really forcing me and you to make big boy moves. Like this podcast is just the vanguard of like what we're really going to be fucking doing.
Yeah. Mind you, I really do like your guys' podcast.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Thank you.
Y'all got me listening to podcasts.
Oh, good. Yeah. And that's the whole point because everything could be solved with communication. But yeah, this is really just a forum for us to have, war chats, business meetings. Like we building. So this is just, we hold each other accountable. We come here every week, and it's like what it really forces us to do is talk about what we really doing. Because if you out here popping every week without having tangible things in the world, you're capping. So
The talented things are here.
They're here, and they're moving very quick, because the external pressure is forcing this hand. So
everything's in light speed.
Yeah,
Like the good,
absolutely.
like you said, the good is in light speed.
Yeah.
The expansion is in light speed. The success, the prosperity, the abundance is equally coming really fast.
Wave. She's talking. It's a wave. It's like, when what I've noticed, like with the spiritual forces, with physical forces, there's always the ebb and flow. So the wave recedes back into the ocean and it crashes back on the shore. Recedes back in the ocean, crashes back into the shore. That's analogous to what's happening between the forces of good and evil, bad and wicked, whatever. Just different people jockeying. Is right now we're seeing is, you're making your move. You really hammering down on these mandates. All right. Well, what that is doing for me is like literally feel like a soldier, not like saying it to sound cool. I'm like, oh no, we're built for this moment in time.
Fact.
And I was telling you earlier, it's like, what is a soldier without warfare? So now I'm like, I've been training, bro.
Yeah, definitely.
You niggas don't want this work.
They don't.
Like, you don't want this. Because one, I feel I can do it by myself. I know I can't, but I got Allah with me, bro. Have you not read the Bible? Have you not read Revelations, bro?
Come on, bro.
This mother that we're talking about, this giving birth, is literally in Revelations with the stars. Like, you remember this part? Like, it's talking about a mother. The story of the mother giving birth. I wish I knew Revelations word by word, but
That was the one book I didn't tap into.
oh, we in it right now, bro.
But I know.
No, we know we in it
because
right
it was like
now. We in it right now.
it's too close to home.
I feel you, bro.
That's why I didn't tap
No,
into
but
it.
it's talking about the mother with stars, and man, I wish I could.
I'm gonna go read Revelation.
Yeah, we need to read Red.
I was
Homework.
like, hold up. I was like, give as much information. I'm over here like, I'm curious. Like, give as much
Sorry.
information.
There's a man. I have a Bible right here. Maybe I'll just, what?
Just open it, bro.
Yeah, let's just.
Revelation was always that like scary
Thank you.
book.
Yes.
But I also now realize it's metaphysical. It's very symbolic and metaphysical.
I just was always confused when people were excited about the end of time.
I turned right to it. The woman and the dragon.
Come on,
Let's
go ahead.
read.
Islam,
The
of
woman
course.
and the dragon. Then I witnessed in heaven an event of great significance. I saw a woman clothed with the sun, with the moon behind her feet, and a crown of 12 stars on her head. Bro, for the record, I turned right here. I just went for the record.
did. That was you
For
did.
the record, I opened
got
this
it
book
on
and I turned right here. So you're gonna tell me Allah ain't real? Here's your evidence. Like,
Very present.
So anyway, then I witnessed in heaven an event of great significance. I saw a woman clothed with the sun, with the moon beneath her feet, and a crown of 12 stars on her head. She was pregnant, and she cried out in pain of labor as she awaited her delivery. Suddenly, I witnessed in heaven another significant event. I saw a large red dragon with 7 heads and 10 horns and 7 crowns on his heads. His tail dragged down 1/3 of the stars, which he threw to the earth. He stood before the woman as she was about to give birth to her child, ready to devour the baby as soon as it was born. She gave birth to a boy who was to rule all nations with an iron rod, and the child was snatched away from the dragon and was caught up to heaven and to his throne. And the woman fled into the wilderness, where God had prepared a place for her to give her care for 1,260 days. Then there was a war in heaven. Michael and the angels under his command fought the dragon and his angels, and the dragon lost the battle and was forced out of heaven. The great dragon, the ancient serpent called the devil or Satan, the one deceiving the whole world, was thrown down into the earth with all the angels. We in that time, bro.
We in that time. So it is.
Wow, right?
I'm just more like, wait, but like that imagery of like giving birth, when you guys were talking about, like, it was just like, it was just very clear. Like,
very
it was
real.
just,
Yeah.
I almost didn't say it, but that's interesting.
Yeah. That's where we at.
That's
Very
where
interesting.
exactly.
Let's let we can keep going,
Yeah.
Let's
Oh my God. Let's ease it out.
Let's lead
We
people
good.
will
We
be
good.
here.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry, that was just a good experience.
Yeah, no, that was real. I mean, like, this is where we are. We are in that time. That was prophecy, not just by the Bible, of all scriptures. Like, this is the end of a world.
Even all of our dreams are coming
right.
saying these things.
I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it happen. I'm like, okay, no, it is here. What are you going to do? Right? The choice is yours. It starts with the vaccine, but it doesn't end there. It's
Not
like,
at all.
that's just the beginning to the end. Your entry into your choice of world, right?
Islam.
Do you want the kingdom? Do you want this world? What do you want? You got to choose, though. You can't just do nothing. And that's the beautiful part. It's like I know that everyone has a choice, so I have no power over their choice. All I could do is live mine, and you could see the fruits of my choice, right? But that's it. The responsibility is yours.
That's it.
Yeah, and it's our job just to not tell you what to do, but just to shed light on the choices that we make and what we're doing to support the choices we make, right? and gather as many of the light workers as possible to help build the kingdom that is on its way. Like the pillars, I would say, like right now, if we're talking about a foundation, right now we're surveying the land, talking about acquiring supplies to actually literally lay down the physical structures. And so we have to look at all of the fires and the chaos. It's necessary because you gotta burn this motherfucker down. You gotta build down. You gotta burn
From
the
fire came the phoenix.
That's right, exactly. And then we gotta burn down those parasites. Burn down. It's all gotta go, right?
Detox.
Is it
So many levels of detox and alchemy. The first step of alchemy is the blackening, which is like the burning everything down.
That's right.
That's an important step.
Yeah, and that's what when you're detoxing, that's what it feels like. It feels like you're burning down inside, right?
Yeah.
Because there is a part of you that is dying, so that the better half of you can emerge from the ashes.
Yeah.
Right. So we're going to see that on an individual level. We're going to see that as nation level, societal level, and then from all these pieces, this resurrection into the body of Christ is going to manifest into the kingdom of heaven, and that's where we are. That's where we're going.
Islam.
We got to close out on that. We good? How do you feel?
Processing.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Processing this whole entire experience.
Yeah. But I did want to ask you, because it came to me earlier. You said that when you were a child, you were racked with the uncertainty of why are we here, right? Is that a good way to describe it?
If the world is so ugly and so torturous and not kind, why would we be put in this existence?
Okay, so that was your question as a young girl, but what's your answer to that question right now as a woman?
As a woman,
3 children.
3 children.
31.
31.
Live in a trailer.
Hey, I'm living the dream right now for myself. Creation.
Understood.
And not focus on destruction.
Yeah.
There's a part of I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's a little yellow book that had like the stories of the Bible. And there was always this one imagery that I always went to and I loved. And it was people smiling and not even necessarily smiling, they just looked peaceful. There was green everywhere. People were picking from the land, and my grandma used to tell me stories. You'd be able to pick from any tree and eat from it. That's what God is promising to you. You would be able to walk amongst lions, man-eaters, and they would not harm you. You would never go hungry. Nobody would feel pain. You wouldn't get sick. And the imagery of just the greenery, the fact of this thing you talk about walking out, be able to pick from a mango tree, the fact of that is here, that is here, that is here, that is here has been provided, and it is provided. Yeah. Now I see peace and that everything is here that we need. Absolutely. And we need to stop searching outside. That's right. And that's me as a woman, being that scared little kid and asking these questions and being tortured inside because I couldn't understand why harm would be caused, especially to an infant. We make our realities. And some of us don't have a choice in those realities. That's right. Because we are still, those poor people that you speak about in the other countries, be like, you could buy some of those on Amazon. They don't have a choice. Yeah. We are supposed to be the beacon. We are the people from the rich land. I was reading a book about Krishna. Oh. And it was talking about how
Bhagavad Gita?
Get deep. No, I was kidding.
Yeah, what book?
Shoot. When I find it, I will tell you because I did not finish it, but there was like a couple different things.
Not the Bhagavad Gita?
No, yeah. Bhagavad Gita. I'm sorry. I was never able to say the name.
I was reading that when you came in.
Shut up.
Yeah. Well, not that. The companion piece called the Srimad Bhagavatam, but it's so Bhagavad Gita, just all bars, pretty short. Srimad Bhagavatam, super bars, just way longer. But same, this is the Vedas, essentially, but it's God knowledge that comes from that the Indian subcontinent. But anyway, what did you learn from Bhagavad Gita? All facts, by the way. That bar's that's a game changer book. It's a game changer.
I mean, it talks about just like open my mind because I was very resistant towards this. So absolutely. Talk about Krishna or maybe like your people's perception of God or or Jesus Christ or something that's all in you, and everything has that in them. I like low key went off track. Where was I talking? I was like, you threw me up when you said the name.
You talking about Krishna? That's where
I started with Krishna.
But you talk about the garden and the kingdom. And you talking about it's all
the
within,
beauty,
and then you went to what
within.
you're reading. But now you went to
Oh.
you went to Krishna because this is very much the essence of the Vedas of what you're reading. So yeah, I'm just curious about what else you got from it, because I tell you right now, Bhagavad Gita, that's the book that's to open the door to your spirituality.
Yes.
Your track about this ain't your first rodeo.
Yeah.
This ain't your first life.
It was,
You've been here.
it talked about like you being so. It talked about like people, because your spirit, say like you see you did something right before, right? When you were brought back in a life of richness, right? Like you were brought back in a wealthy family. Like for example, you were brought back in a wealthy family because you earned it. You earned to come here, and you weren't supposed to have any obstacles to keep you from finding the truth, to get to God, and you weren't supposed to have any obstacles.
right.
And think about people that are rich.
Yeah.
They don't got nothing to worry about, right?
Yeah.
Besides making more money.
Yeah.
But the thing, what I started realizing is like people, and I was like really internal, I was like, but people get caught up with the money. Like they don't go back into the spirituality.
No,
they just get caught in this physical reality and not
Maya.
the spiritual, right?
Yeah.
But then I started thinking, when you were talking about if you go someplace else, what is considered third world country, which is probably being raped, right? The country itself. So it's not a third world country, got all the resources.
Definitely.
But them saying like, oh, but you could go buy that from Amazon, right? All that type of stuff. We are the rich. We are the wealthy.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
And we are the ones that are supposed to be getting in touch with that spiritual side in order to enlighten and bring those that cannot.
Exactly.
Because those that cannot don't have food in their bellies. Yeah. So they are turned, you know what I mean, have to do all sorts of different things, fighting for their lives, getting sick, all this type of stuff. We are the rich.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I totally agree.
And that's what I learned. That's one of the things I learned from
That's
that.
why I'm going hard. That's why I'm going so hard to open up resources to be able to distribute resources.
That's right.
It's the resources aren't for me. The resources are my birthright. It's up to me to access my birthright and then redistribute it.
That's right.
And create harmony and balance with the resources.
That's right.
So,
and it's divine duty.
Yeah.
That's why we're all here. It's just like it's the hour. You know, we just evidence it in the Bible, whether you believe it or not. But that's the time. That's what time it is. So it's whether you want to believe it or not is purely your choice. But once you make that choice that this is true and it's that time, watch that self-internalization of that truth change your reality. And that's how you know it's true, is when your reality shifts and you're all of a sudden you went from point A to point infinity. Right?
yeah.
Yeah. And that's how you know you made the right choice, because now now I'm God. Right?
Amen.
Yes, sir. Want to close this out?
Just close it out.
Yeah. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Most Merciful. All praise is due to Allah, the Lord of the worlds, the Beneficent, the Most Merciful, and Master of the Day of Judgment. Thee alone do we serve, thee alone do we beseech for divine aid. Guide us on the right path, the path upon whom thou hast bestowed favors, not upon whom thy wrath has been brought down, nor upon those who go astray. Ameen.
Peace.
Mm-hmm.